If you love Baltimore sports, you'll love WNST.net.
A guy that,
I wouldn't disagree with that. Great linebacker with the Denver Broncos.
Bob Kuchenberg, great center here in Florida, in Miami for so long. I mean, those are just two quick names that pop to mind. But it seems to me that, at some point we might want to include one or two more selections to the Hall so we can take care of that and bring a few more people in.
Is the committee flawed? I mean, one of the things I get is that it's a club and it's the same cats. And look, I like Peter King. I know these guys. I've known them, 20 years. I get them on. I think 40 people going into a room and having a cat fight about this probably isn't the way to do it. And I think it's absurd that you guys, that there isn't a collection of some of your era of players who've been in the Hall for 25 or 30 years that aren't on some sort of a committee to get people in.
Well, I won't go into detail, but you've hit a nerve.
Good. Let's open that wound.
That we are in the process of talking about this. I actually sit on the board at the Hall of Fame, and it's one of the things that
How many players do sit on the board?
There are two, Willie Lanier and myself, who sit on the board, and which is just happened in the last few years. Before that, there were no players on the board, so it's a time to, and we have talked to the Hall about doing some things a little differently in the selection process. They're a little sensitive about that, but I think you'll see some changes in the near future.
Did you watch enough football or see the Steelers enough this year to talk about their defense? I mean, obviously, and they're not going to go down as the best defense ever, but maybe 85 Bears or arguably the Ravens of 2000. But this has been, for them, it's been an almost week-by-week story of no one can beat their defense.
The thing I love about this Steeler defense is that you never know what's coming. I'm a contemporary of Dick LeBeau's as a player, and he was that way as a player. I mean, he was hard-nosed and smart. He's carried that over, and with all his experience, he's now become absolutely the worst nightmare for an offensive coordinator that I can imagine. Because when you line up against the Dick LeBeau defense, you never know what direction they're coming from, what you're going to see, and he doesn't. The thing that was unique, perhaps, about Buddy Ryan's Bear defense was that Buddy very often would leave people wide open with that defense. I mean, the defense was out of construction frequently, and his philosophy was very simple. If your quarterback can find the open guy, go ahead. You've got a free one. But LeBeau's defenses are sound. He still finds a way to mix things up so beautifully that you never know where they're coming from. I love the way they play defense.
Who wins this game?
Well, if it runs to form, if we play it 10 times, the Steelers win 8. But it's got to be the one. This could be the one, and I'd love to see that. I like underdogs, and
well, the Giants and the Patriots last year. If they play that 10 times, New England wins it 8 or 9.
Sure,
but that was the one.
That was the one, and this could be the same kind of game. I think the critical thing, getting Warner time to throw the football. If you give Kurt Warner time to throw the football, he'll make you pay for it. And if you don't, this may not be a game.
He's no John Hadel.
I actually played with John for a while. John came up from San Diego, played as a part of a season with us, played a little while with us in L.A.
I just thought I'd throw that old name out there.
Well, I went and saw Roman Gabriel's boy over here. He's here every year as well. I want to go back and take you back to Baltimore in the 60s and 70s and playing at Memorial Stadium and playing against Johnny U. I think so many younger people in our community only hear the legend in writing and whatnot about the world's largest insane asylum. You came in and played on the other side of that. How many times did you play Memorial Stadium?
A lot of times. You know what I remember about that stadium? That infield was so hard that if you fell, it took all the skin off your elbows.
That's how Brooksy would go field it, buddy.
Exactly.
If you love Baltimore sports, you'll love WNST.net.